The Second World War, in which were involved almost all countries and nations, has become one of the most brutal and bloody trials in the human history. There are a lot of events and historical facts which are unfairly buried in oblivion, and one of them is the greatest heroic effort of the Soviet and American peoples. This is the history of the secret air route Alaska-Siberia for ferrying aircraft and delivery of weapons, food and goods from the United States to the Soviet Union under the Lend-Lease program. The beginning of the war was disastrous, in which the Red Army suffered huge human and material losses. The capture of the Soviet Union's most important economic areas caused enormous damage to the economy, including the field of aviation. To help make up these losses in the shortest amount of time during this period of the war, they reached out to other countries such as the United States and Great Britain for assistance. The delivery routes of military equipment and strategic goods to the Soviet Union under the Lend-Lease program through the North Atlantic to the Russian port of Murmansk and through the Pacific and Indian Oceans to Iran were extremely difficult and dangerous. On October 1941, the State Defense Committee decided to organize a more secure and efficient route for the mass delivery of aircraft and supplies from the United States to the Soviet Union. After a thorough analysis, an air route was chosen. The reconstruction of existing airports and the construction of new ones were begun in incredibly difficult climatic conditions and at full secrecy. In less than a year, the air ferry route, on which, according to American pilots, just crazy and suicidal Russians can fly, was put into full operation. The airplanes were delivered from the United States aviation plants to the air base in Great Falls, Montana, and then along the mountain ranges of western Canada to the air base Leadfield in Fairbanks, Alaska, where they were accepted by the 1st Ferry Air Division of the Soviet Union. The air route goes from Fairbanks, Alaska to Krasnoyarsk, Siberia, over the most dangerous areas of the globe, including the permafrost zone. The flight on this extremely difficult route within a sufficient number of alternate and intermediate aerodromes with limited fuel and without connection to the Earth was an ordeal. In 2015, the year of the celebration of the 70th anniversary of the victory in the Great Patriotic War, the Bravo 369 Flight Foundation and Russian Aviation Company Limited planned to recreate the historic World War II warplanes flight along Alaska-Siberia from Great Falls, Montana to Krasnoyarsk, flying vintage aircraft supplied under Lend-Lease program to the Soviet Union. The project is not just a simple participation for Rusavia Limited, it is also a continuation of its management philosophy. The purpose of the project, which covers the most significant event of Soviet-American cooperation, is to revive the historical memory of courage and heroism of the participants of the Alaska-Siberia air ferry route, not just demonstrating the separate historical event, but also providing the historical education for further strengthening of Russian-American relations. Russian Aviation Company Limited has been practicing, in addition to the primary activity, the restoration of historic the Second World War era aircraft. The legends of domestic aircraft manufacturer, restored to flight condition, are handed over to the museums as a national treasure, or they take part in the flying displays at the international air shows and exhibitions. The publishing house of Russian Aviation Company Limited, in cooperation with the leading aviation historians, prepared and published more than 50 true story books and albums on aviation history. The authors of the books on the history of the Great Patriotic War and the Second World War paid special attention to the history of organization and operation of the air route Alaska-Siberia. Russian Aviation Company Limited acted as confederate and participant in the implementation of this ambitious project, realizing the historical significance of this project, as well as the fact that this flight will breathe an additional impetus to the development of small aircraft in remote areas of Siberia and the Far East. On September 28, 2013 in Bellingham, Washington, the Bravo 369 Flight Foundation and Russian Aviation Company Limited signed the Memorandum of Understanding toward mutual participation in a common project within the framework of which, under the auspices of Rosavia Limited, it was established the non-profit partnership Alaska-Siberia 2015. Upon completing of the flight, the project participants plan to take part in the flight program of the International Aviation and Space Saloon MAX 2015 and later use these airplanes as exhibits, providing patriotic and historical education to the younger generations.